Streaming, more streaming. Sending data. Sending data.
Still sending data.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Hi.
to Mehcast Presents. Now, didn't we already do Dr. Hello.
Realist Metal's probably just going to be watching
I'm
in this. I don't know if he's joining.
I will expand the frame so that you and his faces are not cut off anyways.
Fair enough.
So today we will be doing something a little bit different. We're doing a dramatic reading of a comedic rewriting of a movie, because we already did Doctor Strange. But today we're going to be doing the Taiwanese bootleg version, kind of inspired by the Taiwanese bootleg Civil War thing that we riffed up during that.
Yes, this is a totally legit thing that was pitched to Marvel a while ago, but they ended up scrapping it because it was too absurd for their tastes.
Yes, and it wound up being produced in a foreign country on a very low budget, kind of like Turkish Star Wars was.
Yep.
Have either of you guys heard of, seen Turkish Star Wars? Because I know everybody's heard of it if you're on the internet.
No, I have heard of it. And I've heard of a montage of a guy trying to karate chop a rock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, it was a version of... It was a movie that ripped off the Indiana Jones theme, made in Turkey, and they used bootleg footage from Star Wars and intercut it with a bunch of nonsense, essentially. Go watch the Cinema Snob's review of it. It's quite funny.
Okay, so anyway, without further ado, let us begin. Doctor Strange, Taiwanese bootleg edition, written and directed by Mark Steven Johnson, aka the director of Daredevil.
How can you see into my eyes like open doors?
Feel free to think of any licensed music that would play in one of these. Okay. Now keep in mind, Alex, keep in mind one thing. There are two editions of this movie, and we're only going to be going over what happens in the theatrical version. The director's cut will only be around for those who want to see a 5-hour version. Anyway, Alex,
Michael Bay
I'll let you.
The bootleg Doctor Strange.
No, Mark Steven Johnson still directed it.
No, he just produced it under Platinum Dunes.
Anyway, Alex, I'll let you start.
A man by the name of Caecilius, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, had stolen a book. I'm already fucking it
up.
Had stolen a page from the Book of Cagliostro, from the Castle of Cagliostro. He ran into a man wearing a green suit on his way out, who sounded a lot like a certain snake. Hey, you can't go there, the librarian said before Caecilius cut off his head and left it in the library. He told his other zealots to take him away to be tortured later, even though the head was already cut off. Just as the group is about to leave, they are confronted by the Ancient One, aka Tilda Swinton, who talks about a place far away, through the wardrobe, through the woods, a place called Narnia. Thanks to her ongoing monologue, the zealots managed to escape. The Ancient One was quite disappointed and decided to change from her white robes to gold and blue ones.
And she also shaved her head?
Yes.
Meanwhile, in New York, a man by the name of Dr. Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, was in the middle of an extensive Skype call with Everett K. Ross, Martin Freeman, after a successful surgery that saved a man's life. Because the other guy was too much of a bitch to actually try to save the guy and was about to pronounce him dead. They reminisced about their time in Middle Earth, as both a hobbit and a dragon. Unfortunately, Strange then got into a car accident that fucked up his hands. And only his hands.
It's really a shame that there's no sort of regeneration cradle that they could put him in that could repair his hands.
This ain't fucking Transformers, man.
I was more
Anyway.
talking about the one from Age of Ultron, but sure.
Okay.
What was bizarre about this was that his hands were the only thing that were damaged. Everything about him, otherwise, was perfectly intact. He tried multiple treatments, and he paid for it by selling lots of things, including Rolexes and Tag Heuers, none of which were remotely helpful.
His lovely lady friend, Christine Palmer, Rachel McAdams, tries to talk some sense into him, but Strange lashes out at her, and she leaves. She was like, all right, bye, Felicia. One associate of his tells him about a man who was able to not only reattach severed nerves in his spinal column, but also restore his movie career in one fell swoop.
This was a basketball player named Jonathan Pangborn, played by Benjamin Bratt, who tells Strange about his time playing basketball with somebody named Patience Phillips, and how the Catwoman eventually slashed through his back in her attempt to escape custody. But then he wound up getting messed up in a car and sent him flying into a Viltrumite. Strange asks him how he's able to reattach his nerves after both having his back slashed out by Catwoman's diamond claws and also being destroyed by a car, and how he restored his career after that horrible, horrible Catwoman film. And he was directed to Camartage.
Once he arrives at Catman Zoo, he gets horribly, and I do stress horribly, lost. And the locals prove to be no help whatsoever, especially considering the fact that almost none of them know how to speak English. However, he encounters a talking lion with a scar over one of his eyes, who helps him. This is Baron Carl Mordo, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who brings him to Camartage, where he meets with the Ancient One.
After being put to sleep from a long, drawn-out monologue about Narnia, she demonstrates her ability by using magic to send him on a drug trip set to Shooting Stars by the Bag Raiders, where he learns of the multiverse. When he learns of the multiverse, he opts to never question her monologues again, and begs her to teach him, even kissing her feet, which nobody is weirded out by except for Quentin Tarantino, who was filming this scene and wanted to do that later.
He is then handed the Wi-Fi password to Camartage, and we get a training montage of Strange learning the basics to set to the theme Live to Win, albeit a cover sung by Johnny Giuelli.
Kiss wanted way too much money.
Once he learns the basics, he goes to learn more about magic by approaching the new librarian, Wong, played by Stephen Yuan.
The two of them bond over their mutual love of Beyonce and sing All the Single Ladies for a karaoke night. Meanwhile, Caecilius watches as the decapitated librarian is being tortured before performing the forbidden ritual that gives them power from the dark dimension.
Strange is later taught about the mirror dimension, in which he can learn to practice spells more discreetly, since he's been a tad loud. I mean, seriously, blaring your music while you're reading, especially in astral projection form? Come on, man.
On loop, too. It's really obnoxious. Put some variety in there, buddy.
All the while, he emails Christine about his time, hoping she'll hear him.
When Wong is absent from the library, Strange sneaks in and borrows the Book of Cagliostro, while also taking possession of the Eye of Agamotto. He then messes around with its power, making an apple either rot or become fully restored. He then finds out about the page that was stolen, but is stopped by Wong, Mordo, and the Ancient One.
He is then exposited about how the masters of the mystic arts defend the universe from spiritual threats, as opposed to the physical ones that the Avengers deal with on a regular basis.
Part 2.
On to part 2.
Yes. As Strange attempts to process the new information of him being trained to be a warrior, the London Sanctum is destroyed, and Strange is sent to the New York Sanctum. He tries to find a way out, but then spots a sentient cloak dubbed the Cloak of Levitation, which took one good look at Strange and thought to itself, you fine.
Yes, the cloak was very much attracted to Strange.
It thinks he's cute, and it knows he's sexy.
After his tour of the Sanctum, he is confronted by Caecilius, who then asks for his name by referring to him as Mr. But then Strange corrects him by saying that he's a doctor. The exchange is as follows. So you are called Mr. Doctor? No, dipshit.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were alternating that. Go ahead.
No, dipshit, it's Strange. Indeed it is. But then again, my name is quite strange itself. Oh, for fuck's sake.
He and the other members he brought with him get into a rousing round of fisticuffs, with the cloak joining in. You see, Dr. Strange has the looks that drive the cloaks wild. Strange dumps a couple of the zealots in other locations before the cloak guides him to the kinky chain. Once he throws it in Caecilius, it locks him into position. Ah, Mr. Doctor, I see you're into the kinky shit as well. Okay, I'm gonna put this muzzle on you, and just for the record, it's Stephen Strange. Doctor is my profession.
After he puts the muzzle on Caecilius, the man then speaks in muffled for a while, which torments Strange to the point where he can't stand listening to him. What? My name is Caecilius Maximus Decimus Meridius. Okay, Mr. Overly Long Name, is that supposed to be followed by some declaration of revenge? Oh no, the one who's killing you is behind you.
Strange turns and sees an invisible plate of magic pierce through him, and the man responsible introduces himself as such. My name's Jeff.
You gotta say it like it is in 21 Jump Street.
I thought I did.
My name's Jeff.
Oh, my name's Jeff.
Jeff is then set upon by the cloak, who then tries to suffocate him to death. Using a sling ring, Strange transports himself to the hospital, where Christine reluctantly agrees to perform surgery on him to help heal him.
But then, Jeff uses his astral body to hunt down Strange, where the two get into a slap fight until Christine uses the defibrillators to power Strange with electricity, and he destroys Jeff. Strange leaves Christine to process that the magic's totes real, and he gives grim news to the Ancient One. All the while, Christine is freaked out by a falling mop in the background.
Yep. However, Strange
thing that happened in the movie.
Yep. However, Strange seems to reject the idea of being a warrior, and especially doesn't want to be lectured by a talking lion. I mean, seriously, who wants that in their lives?
Dr. Strange, you must be prepared.
No, I will not be prepared for the murkiest.
What about the coup of the century?
I will not be prepared for the coup of the century, nor for the murkiest scam. Just stop. Stop.
Meticulous planning, decades of denial.
No more waxing lyricals. Strange seems to reject the idea of being a warrior, and especially doesn't want to be lectured by a talking lion. But then the trio get confronted by Caecilius, who is able to expose the Ancient One as yet another, or who uses the dark dimension to prolong her life.
Then, as the Ancient One is restrained, Caecilius opens a portal, not to anywhere that would kill her, but instead to the worst place on earth. You, hypocrite, shall be sent to Detroit.
No, not Detroit! Anything but that! She is then placed into Detroit, where she may as well be dead. Strange mopes about, pondering what to do next, until he nuts up and alongside Mordo, head for China.
Wong gears
and this is where And this is where the film's entire budget gets dumped into.
Yes, Wong gears up to fight Caecilius and whips out a lightsaber with Caecilius following suit. Strange arrives and is awed at the amazing choreography of the fight. For some reason, Disney had to pay themselves to license a song they own from themselves. And therefore, John Williams took up the vast majority of this film's $300 million budget. Strange uses the Time Stone to try and restore any damage caused by the epic battle.
Caecilius and his followers stop him and force the battle into a state of stop time. Strange is then left with no choice but to venture into the dark dimension. Once there, he is confronted by the dread Dormammu, Michael T. Weiss, and the exchange goes as follows. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. So, like everyone else who contacts me, you want something from me, is that it? I mean, aren't you the ruler of this dimension? Well, I am technically a god in that regard, but I just get so bored of all these sheep who worship me for so long, and I have to do everything for them. Never once did they do anything for me, nor did they ever ask what I, the dread Dormammu, want. Well, in that case, what do you want? Honestly, it's just nice to have someone ask me what I want for a change.
I want the power of the power of the power of the power.
No, we're not there yet. Now on to part 3.
Tell me something strange. What do you have to offer me besides worship? Because again, that's the last thing I need. Well, can you make a remix? I'll provide instrumentation.
He then conjures up what appears to be a DJ set with his magic, and Dormammu ponders his idea until he conjures a strange power in his left hand. I got the power of the creator, and the power of the destroyer, and the power of the power of the power of the power of the...
And so on and so forth. As Dormammu repeated the line, he and Strange performed an epic groove inside the dark dimension, in which even the dimension itself provided the lighting and atmosphere for their amazing tune. Are you waiting on me to continue?
No. Oh, outside of the dimensional terror, Wong and Caecilius pause their lightsaber duel, unsure of what's up with the light show. Eventually, the music died down, and both Strange and Dormammu shared a laugh. I have to say, mortal, your taste in music is quite something. Thanks. Now then, since I was kind enough to do you a favor, that's fair. Ask me anything you want, mortal. I'm more than willing to oblige. Could you take your zealots and maybe never come back to this dimension again? Your dimension was kind of boring anyway. You're probably the one person who gets me. So I will leave your dimension alone. And by the way, before I leave, what is your name, mortal? Dr. Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. I'll make a note of it on my friends list. Though I am sick of telling horny tourists that this isn't the Chaos Dimension. Suddenly a tourist of Dormammu's description appears before him. Chaos Dimension? Dark Dimension? The tourist left.
The Chaos Dimension? Aww.
The tourist left, disappointed, and continued looking for the Chaos Dimension. All right, Strange, off you go.
As Strange leaves, he shakes Dormammu's hand and exits the dimension. And just like that, every zealot working for Caecilius, as well as the man himself, were dissolved into nothingness, as though they were absorbed into the dark dimension.
When Strange uses the Time Stone to repair the property damage, Wong takes no issue, but Mordo abruptly leaves to the confusion of both sorcerers.
You should have been prepared. Strange places the Eye of Agamotto onto his pedestal and begins not only his duty as guardian of the New York Sanctum, but also as Sorcerer Supreme.
In a post-credits scene, Strange is visited not only by Thor, Chris Hemsworth, who is seeking out Odin with Loki, Tom Hiddleston, and the former notes Thor's absence from the from the sheer insanity that was Civil War, but also by a man and in a biker jacket and matching pants. Though his head was on fire, nothing in the sanctum burned. Yes, I would like you to read this with me.
Hey, Doctor, you got a really cool pad here.
He's not voiced by Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Nicolas
God
Cage is
damn
only
it.
the body.
God damn it, I can't do that voice. Okay.
It's actually quite easy to do this voice.
Okay, so I know what Mr. God of Thunder wants, but what about you?
Well, aside from the usual vengeance and all that, I've come to talk to you about this group of mine.
You want to talk to me about the Avengers Initiative?
And no, it's so I'm to be inducted
No, I know.
into.
I was just riffing. So I'm to be inducted into
No.
this as well as being an Avenger.
Hey, I'm a part of both teams, and I'm not complaining.
Strange was about to question Thor, who nods in confirmation that this flaming skeleton man is correct. Does the team have a name?
Right. No, wait. Ghost Rider's the one who says it like, hey, I'm a part of both teams, and I'm not complaining.
Okay. Strange is about to question Thor, who nods in confirmation that the flaming skeleton man is correct. Does this team have a name?
Here's the business card.
The man hands Strange a business card that reads the Midnight Suns, and before he leaves, he points at Loki with a vengeful look.
Know this, Laufeyson. If you come to this dimension with the intent of killing more innocent people, I shall burn you with the vengeance of 1,000,000,000,000 extinguished souls. So decrees I, the Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage as the body, Richard Grieco as the voice, departs from the sanctum and rides off in the distance on his motorcycle listening to Bon Jovi songs.
Dead or alive, I'll walk these streets, a loaded 6-string on my back. Play keeps, cause I might not make it back. Been everywhere.
The song kind of fades out after that part.
That's good because I don't remember the rest of the lyrics, which is kind of embarrassing for me as a Bon Jovi
So
fan,
yes, the next Taiwanese bootleg that will be worked upon, or be told, will be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, written and directed by Josh Trank. So look forward to that.
Josh Trank's yet again attempting to recreate Chronicle. I can't wait to see what role Michael B. Jordan will play in the film.
He's not in this.
Aw. Killmonger should just be in space for no reason.
Anyway,
Yes, we will see you guys in a couple of minutes. We have to stop, wait for the stream to reset, and then come back because we are going to be doing some more Screw Attack Top 10s in a couple of minutes here.
So, bye.
Same Met time, same Met channel.